Hello, how's it going? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today is a debut on the channel. This is the Pathless, and the song is called None Have Returned, composed by Austin Wintory. Very, very cool. He's watched my channel before, and I'm a huge fan of his work on Journey, one of my favorite games. So shout out Austin Wintory. But this is my first time hearing anything from Austin outside of that game. So I'm extremely curious, and not too long of a song. I've never heard of the Pathless. I've never heard of anyone that I know that's heard of the Pathless. So this is going to be totally new to me. But this is None Have Returned, requested by Manin on Patreon. Let's go.
Açtım açtım oy
Before we address the elephant in the room, I'm going to say some things. First of all, Austin Wintory is clearly a person with many talents, lots of cinematic approach to the music, very storytelling type of composer, in the moment, ambience, all that, you know. It could work for movies even. High production. I feel like with Austin, I think it's kind of a given that the quality will be very high and experimental, and you're going to hear instruments, noises, natural sounds that you probably would normally not hear. So kind of traditional in a sense, but also quite experimental, at least from what I've heard. I don't know what the Pathless is, but based on what I just heard and this image, I'm going to say, not counting the character I see, but just this image, that this is kind of a very nature-infused game, very outdoors in general. Because I think I heard bagpipes too, and everything. Every time I hear bagpipes in video games, it's usually outside. I don't know why, it just is. But I keep getting the feel of nature. Obviously, this picture has to do with that. But I mean, look at how much attention is in the grass, the trees, the mountain, whatever's floating in the sky, the eagle. There's, and then it sounds like that. It sounds like I'm on some remote area and there's just a tribe singing like that, and just, hunt to survive type of thing. It sounds very natural, very human in its raw form type of thing. This one is 100% context. Like I would love to see where this actually goes. What's it called? None Have Returned. Yeah, I would love to see that. And the thing that, of course, stuck out like crazy, which I haven't really heard in the game, is I don't know anything about it, so I'm gonna just take a guess that that's throat singing. Maybe Mongolian throat singing? I'm not sure how many different types there are, but from what I know, that is kind of the technique, I guess. It's so impressive to me, and I don't even know how they do it. It sounds like it hurts. Obviously it doesn't. There's a technique that they've got down. But to me, I haven't heard much throat type singing technique in my life. That's probably one of the first, maybe one of like 2 or 3 songs I've heard my entire life. So to me, obviously they figured out a way to kind of use what I'm guessing about the larynx or something, because it sounds like a mixture of between a human throat and a didgeridoo, which I think the didgeridoo is all lips and circular breathing. But this one, they have their mouth open, and it sounds like it's right here. Doesn't sound lower, doesn't sound in the mouth. It sounds like it's like just right at the cusp of your mouth and throat. I don't know what they were saying, if that was like, if it was English, or if it was like more of a, just kind of vowels, and that was really good. But since I have little to no experience or expertise or anything with that, I just really want to know, like, what's going on here. Is this a common theme throughout the game? Do you hear that a lot? Is it part of the game, or is this just like a one-off special interesting song that has that? And I just feel like it's extremely rare, even in this day and age of the internet, where everything has a community and you can learn and you can watch videos on YouTube. Even to this day, like, you don't really hear about like that use of vocal technique. It's still rare, and it's probably older than we can imagine. So I'm really curious about that kind of stuff, but I don't know who that was performing it. But my whole thought process was focused on that. The whole song was obviously really beautiful. It had this very nice ambience, again, cinematic ambience, and then like the bagpipes, I think there were bagpipes, and it just felt kind of epic. It felt very big and over the top. It kind of felt like you were climbing this thing actually in the background. But I couldn't get away from this vocal sound that was kind of stealing the show, I guess. I was not ready for that. But see, the thing with me is I'm a very curious person. So when I ask, you guys, hey, what is that? Whatever, I'm actually asking. So then when you tell me and I read the comments, I go, I'm a deep diver. I go into rabbit holes a lot. So once you tell me these kind of things, I start looking up information on it on my own, and then I start finding videos, and then I go into a YouTube rabbit hole for said video for 2 hours, and then I start sharing it with other people. Like, have you heard of it? So I'm legitimately curious as to what the decision was behind that, who that was, why they would decide to do that, and what actually was that. Song was great, but honestly, I was just kind of mostly paying attention to the vocal part. You have to admit, it's super impressive. It sounds, I think it's one of those things where it sounds easier than it is. I think everyone can feel like they can just do this, but nah, there's something there. There's some technique that they've mastered that doesn't shred your vocal cords. And I can't think of any other songs or BGM that has something like that. Caught me off guard. Let's just say that. But I'm very happy that my second experience with Austin is a good one, because the Journey was set the bar extremely high for me. I kind of knew based on, well, I didn't know, but I had a good inkling that based on the quality of Journey, that I was going to kind of like everything he does. But now I know that this composer is like really just kind of, you know, not normal. Very talented. And now I have a lot of questions. Anyways. Oh, I said awesome because I read Pathless. Awesome. That was the Pathless. None Have Returned, requested by Man. And I don't think I have any more Pathless songs. Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look. But as always, every time there's a debut on the channel, it's always fun, especially when it's really, really good and it really stands out. So this is great for me. Let me know what the song title means, None Have Returned. And yeah, I guess we'll wait until the next time I get to check out some more. Who knows when that'll be. But a big thank you to my Patreon supporters that you see on the screen. Thanks to you for watching. And a big thank you to my Platinum supporters over on Patreon that get their requests prioritized. Kevin, Patrick, Shadow Maxim, Vanadel, Callanan, Gardelane, Mushamary, Justin, Knox, and Triage 101. I will see you all in the next video. Until next time, dudes and dudettes, have a good night.